Okay, guys, so I gotta talk to you. We have a very diverse audience that listens to this show. So we have people that celebrate Christmas, they celebrate Hanukkah. Some of them don't celebrate shit. Some of them celebrate solstice, Kwanzaa. It's a very rich and diverse audience. So it's a little hard for me to want to do a holiday episode that doesn't appeal to everyone. So I kind of thought to myself, what does everyone like? And it's getting fucking presents, son. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right.
That's not what the season is about, Casey.
That's right. It's about vengeance.
Yeah.
According to the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Yeah, right.
And Silent Night, Deadly Night. 1 through 3.
It's that most wonderfully festive, frightful time of the year, guys.
Apparently. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Fucking worst test I've ever taken in my life. I'm still not right from it.
So, Professor Casey is back with us today. He missed the last episode because he's doing lots of teaching stuff.
Yeah, there's this teaching exam called the EdTPA, and it can suck on my dick, dude.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome to another miserable podcast.
And I'm here.
And
despite the fact that I have a paper due on Tuesday.
Yes, thank you to my wonderful co-host, Mr. Chris Pistol, Mr. Professor Casey, both here today.
I haven't slept in 2 days.
Well, it's okay because we're going to talk about the most boring shit to put you to sleep this episode. That's why they call me the hype man, ladies and gentlemen. No, this episode's going to be dope. This was actually my idea, so that's how I know it's going to be good. It's all about buying shit for people or for yourself. Treat yourself, son. But a lot of this stuff comes deep from my heart because I don't want people to just get horror fans in their lives shitty gifts. I want them to get something that person will actually like. Okay, we've done shopping for ourselves too. I think it would be remiss for us to not speak about Black Friday in some fashion. So I'm going to kick it over to Zach first to talk about his Black Friday purchases. He didn't buy anything.
My Black Friday purchases or lack thereof. So before we get into Black Friday, just so everyone's clear, so what we're doing today on another miserable podcast, and if this is the first time you're tuning in, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate that. We are a horror podcast, the candy cane of horror podcasts, because who doesn't like a candy cane?
I think we're more like the Yule log.
The Yule log. That's even better. The maybe candy cane flavored Yule log. I don't know.
Ew, dude.
Peppermint, chocolate and peppermint work. All right. So we are a
flavored candy cane.
Yeah, we're a horror podcast. We explore kind of the intersection of horror and pop culture. That's what we love to do. So we do current movie reviews and retrospectives. Today we are presenting our 2019 holiday gift guide for horror fans. So by the time this goes up, you'll have about 2 weeks or so to get these gifts before Christmas. So you have plenty of time, I promise.
Yeah, you might want to get the faster shipping from a couple of the places we're going to talk about. But
I hope no one said AirPods because those are freaking blocked until January.
Oh, shit.
Oh, well, I don't think that's technically a horror gift. I guess depends on what
you're not a school teacher. Trust me.
That's true. So yeah, my name is Zach. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, like I said before, Mr. Chris Pistol. How's it going, sir?
Hi. I'm tired.
He's tired. He's got a paper due Tuesday. And yep. Professor Casey, back with us today.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I missed you all. I hope you missed me as well, because I had absolutely nothing to contribute to the last episode, so you really shouldn't. But I do for this one, because I love horror-related merchandise. I'm surrounded by it at pretty much all times. I used to work in a store that sold it year-round. I think I got your back with some of this recommendation stuff.
Yeah, we all hope you had a really great Thanksgiving. Got your stomach full of turkey or tofurkey or whatever turkey you like to eat. And we're gonna talk jerky or prime rib, right?
Oh, I had prime rib. Yeah, that was me.
You got your prime rib at
Claim Jumper.
Claim Jumper, right?
Yeah,
That's a terrible name for a restaurant, but it's good.
Well, it's better than fucking Claim Humper.
That's true.
They called it that.
Okay, so before we get into our list, guys, as Casey alluded to, Black Friday happened, and it's a big day where you can get a lot of things. Actually, I did buy a couple things on Black Friday. I forgot, I did.
Socks and underwear.
No, I just bought a couple of Blu-rays that I've been wanting, holiday Blu-rays. I got Home Alone 1 and 2 on Blu-ray.
Sweet.
And then I got Krampus on Blu-ray, which should have gotten like 4 years ago. But
have you watched the Home Alone episode of the movies that made us yet?
Ooh, I haven't, but it's on my list.
Yeah, it's on mine too. It started. They have a new thing on Netflix that's really stupid that says play any episode at random of the series to start you off, and it started me off with Dirty Dancing, and I'm like, you know what? I think I want to watch The Mandalorian.
I've never seen Dirty Dancing, so I would be completely lost in learning how it made me.
It actually, it actually is a good movie. It's a movie that made me tired. It made me sleepy, and it made me bored. But it did make me something. The others are Home Alone, Ghostbusters, and Die Hard, which I'm down for all of those. But if it's anything like The Toys That Made Us, the quote-unquote girl episode that they're calling Dirty Dancing, those ended up being the most fascinating episodes on The Toys That Made Us. Like the Sanrio and Barbie episodes are freaking amazing. So it could be quite interesting. Ho, 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 I've got a machine gun. Oh, no, excuse me. Ho, ho.
So, Casey, what was your Black Friday haul, man?
Oh, dude. Okay, so there is a site that I love very much called Vinegar Syndrome. Are you guys familiar with them at all?
No.
Yeah, I think we talked about them briefly on, I think, our horror convention episode.
Yes, I am actually holding in my hands right now their beautiful Hell Comes to Frogtown special slipcase edition, where it's like, ooh, Rowdy Piper. Okay, so I went on their site because every year Vinegar Syndrome does a special Black Friday Blu-ray that they do not tell you ahead of time what it is. It's a surprise. You log in on Black Friday, you see what amazing shit they have for you. And, you know, not everything in their catalog appeals to me. I mean, not everything's going to appeal to everyone. But they had their choice this year was the most Casey choice that they probably could have done outside of actually releasing Encino Man on Blu-ray, which they did not do, unfortunately. It was the masterpiece horror movie known as Spookies, which we have talked about on this podcast before, I believe. Maybe. It's absolute fucking garbage in the best way possible. It's actually two movies very poorly cobbled together and in a semi-coherent manner. But what's great is not only is it this awesome Blu-ray in this awesome slipcase, it has a feature-length documentary on the making of this movie. And just the stories I've read about the making of this movie sound fucking fascinating. So I can't wait to watch the documentary portion. But I'm going to have to because it's taking them a while to send it out. Also, Vinegar Syndrome had a significant discount on the Blu-ray version of the cinematic masterpiece known as Tammy and the T-Rex. Tammy and the T-Rex features a debuting Denise Richards as a girlfriend whose boyfriend is Paul Walker. Paul Walker dies and has his brain put inside of a T-Rex. Hilarity ensues. It was released as a PG-13 kind of kids movie, but it was filmed as a hard R gore fest.
Oh, shit.
And all of that footage was considered lost until Vinegar Syndrome fucking found it. And so they've been exhibiting this gore cut of the movie around the country. It's been at all kinds of screenings and shit like this. And it is available now, not only on Blu-ray, but in Ultra HD 4K Blu-ray as well. But yeah, I just got the regular one. I don't have a 4K player on 4K TV, so it's fine.
Yeah, for those that don't know Vinegar Syndrome that well, this is a website that certainly caters to the kind of hardcore horror fan. They release a lot of rare exploitation films.
A little more of a hardcore than you might think on some of their releases.
Yeah, there's some gnarly stuff in there. So like
there's some adults only movies that they put out too. Let's put it that way.
If you're just trying to get your feet wet in the horror genre, that can be a little intimidating. But they do release some really cool stuff, beautiful artwork for the like most messed up of films.
I would say that they're comparable to Severin films. Both of them are pretty close. A lot of people know Severin. Not as many people know Vinegar Syndrome. They should both be names on your list of things that you're checking out. So I highly recommend them. Also went to 8-Bit Zombie. That's 8bitzombie.com. He had a great Black Friday sale. He does every year. And I bought a bunch of shirts from him. And his shipping is so awesome that I ordered them on Black Friday. And I got them by Monday. And he's in Colorado.
Nice.
I'm in California. So he shipped things out immediately. Great guy, great site. Great merchandise, 8bitzombie.com. He's not one of my official plugs for the holiday gift guide because all the stuff that he has up right now is stuff that we've already talked about pretty much on other episodes of the show or on Twitter. And the stuff that we're going to be talking about today is a little bit newer. But I want to kick it over to Chris and see if he has any Black Friday stuff he wants to talk about.
Oh, okay. So we're just talking about Black Friday stuff, right? We're not going into the holiday stuff right yet.
Yeah, for now, just Black Friday.
Okay. I don't want to blow my load just yet. But
same. That's why we are brought to you today by Blue Chew.
So yeah, just for Black Friday, I just hopped on the Amazon. It was pretty chill. Didn't have to fight the crowds. Just got my little cup of coffee and just clicked on the Amazon, saw what was going on there, and I was like, oh, yeah, let's see what's going on with recent releases I wanted to get to see what they are. And luckily enough, 2 of them were on sale. So I got John Wick 3, Chapter 3. Also got Rocket Man on Blu-ray, which is one of my favorite movies of the year. Yeah. And then I also picked up Arrow had discounted their new release of RoboCop. I'm holding it up like this is a video podcast. Yeah, I bought that for $19. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of this little indie film called RoboCop, but it's a fantastic little film. You should definitely check it out.
Especially if you get the version that is on this Blu-ray, which is the most gory version.
Yes, and that's the great thing about Arrow is they just pack this thing with special features. I mean,
holy shit! Like he's showing us this 20-line paragraph of special features right now.
I mean, good God,
awesome.
Are those all separate features?
Yes.
This is just a list of all the features.
Those are like 4 to 5 features per line.
That's crazy.
This is disc 2. This is disc 1.
I gotta say, I don't think the Home Alone 1 and 2 Blu-ray bundle I got has special features on it, which I haven't checked yet, but I'm gonna be disappointed if there's no.
The Blu-ray I have, of Home Alone has a commentary by Chris Columbus and Macaulay Culkin, which is actually pretty interesting because Macaulay Culkin is an adult.
Well, didn't you get the 25th anniversary edition, Chris, that came in the paint can or something?
No, I got just the dual.
Okay, well then maybe mine does.
Yeah, I just got the regular ass one from Target, and it has the commentary on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth listening to. I think Chris Columbus is a good interview, as some might find out from that Movies That Made Us episode, and then Macaulay Culkin also has some funny insights to just what it was like being a kid on the movie set.
Sweet. Well, that was our Black Friday haul, guys. I think I also bought a comforter from Macy's, which hasn't arrived yet. So.
Oh, dude, you didn't go.
Ooh,
I got to put in a plug ski about how beautiful a weighted blanket is. I got a 20-pound weighted blanket, and it's like I'm fucking being hugged by, I don't know,
crushed.
Something. Yeah, I feel like I have to work out to make my bed, but I feel like I'm being hugged to death every time I go to sleep, and it's actually kind of a good feeling. Yeah, because I will either get sleep or I will get eternal sleep, one of the other. And either way, I'll get some rest.
Okay.
It sounded better in my head before I actually said it. Much like the idea for this episode.
All right, let's get to it, guys. This is the Another Miserable Podcast 2019 Holiday Gift Guide for horror fans. So we're each, or at least Casey and I, are going to present about 2 or 3 gift ideas. Chris forgot to come up with some, so he has some Blu-ray suggestions.
Way to throw me under the bus there, Zach. Jeez.
No, it's not your fault. It's my fault. You're in school, Chris. You have an excuse.
Wow. It's okay. Our producer did not tell Chris what the episode was going to be
I did
about.
tell him what it was about. He doesn't check his text. It's not my fault.
I'm sorry. I don't read my text extremely carefully. I thought you told me before that it was going to be about something else.
And then I texted you that it changed.
I just thought it was going to stay the same.
Let's edit this part out.
No, leave that in, Zach.
Even it's
Make this the promo for the fucking episode.
I love you, Chris. I hope you.
I got stuff to talk about, you motherfucker.
Okay, good.
It's gonna be good stuff too.
Take 2, Zach.
Okay, guys, let's get to it. The 2019 Holiday Gift Guide for horror fans. Who wants to kick things off?
Shit, I got one because this is something I feel very strongly about. Okay.
Okay.
A lot of people, they don't know what to get someone for the holidays, and they're like, oh, maybe I'll get them a candle. Okay, I'm down with candles. Candles fucking smell nice. There's candles that are specifically made to smell like a haunted house attraction. Like they smell like smoke machines and fear. Fucking real. I just can't remember the name of the company, or I would plug that right now. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, unfortunately. I am here to talk about board games. Because I don't know about you, a lot of people that I know and me as well get board games as gifts a lot. And I fucking love board games. They're tremendous. But there's a way to get a horror fan a board game, and there's a way to be an asshole. Okay. If you buy a horror-themed Monopoly game for someone, you're an asshole, because Monopoly fucking sucks. I hope that we don't have any listeners from Milton Bradley or Parker Brothers or whoever the fuck makes Monopoly, because you know what? Your life is a sham, and you should feel bad. So, I want to talk about some horror board games, and I have a couple suggestions masquerading as one bit, because they're going to appeal to you in different ways. And I think if you get someone one or the other, you're going to appeal to the horror fan in your life a lot better. So one of them, this one's the one that's easy to get. You should be able to find it anywhere. It is called Horrified. It is the Universal Monsters board game. Now, I bought this from Target around Halloween time, and it was really scarce then, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to get it. So I'm like, okay, I see one on the shelves, just one, and I better grab it. Now it's fucking everywhere. Target has 50 million of them. You can buy it at Barnes & Noble also. You're going to be able to find this board game. So the objective of the game is that you and the other players are monster hunters teaming up to defeat the Universal Monsters. The Universal Monsters come with these really cool, like, miniature representations of them and stuff like that, right? So this is a fun game. It's $35, but I want to reiterate a couple things. It is very complicated. There are a lot of rules. You need someone to understand the shit out of this game before anyone plays it, or it's just going to be a bad night. Also got to say, keep in mind you are monster hunters fighting the monsters. That might not appeal to anyone, but I got the game for you next that's going to. But it's pretty cool. You can adjust the challenge by picking what monsters you want. So say you have like Dracula, you have to go around the map and burn all of his coffins so he doesn't have anywhere to go, and then you kill him. If it's a werewolf, you can only kill the Wolfman with silver bullets. Creature from the Black Lagoon can kind of teleport around the map by using the waterways as his main mode of transportation. The Mummy just fucking sucks. Who gives a shit?
I was gonna say, I would think you would pick the Mummy every time because you hate mummies, so you probably just want to kill the Mummy every time you play.
I don't even remember what his mechanic is. It's probably like just laying down and dying, fucking getting an arrow shot at him and unraveling and just losing in 2 seconds. If you fight Frankenstein, you have to fight him and the bride. So good luck with that, motherfucker. Because there's
I just
still
want to
another
say,
monster on the
I just
map.
want to say, if there are any mummies listening to our podcast, I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday.
Just gonna say, if there are any mummies listening to this podcast, I hope you get all of the Monopoly games for Christmas. Okay, so but okay, you're playing as a monster hunter, right, Zach?
Yeah. So,
Right
what is
there.
the second game that you alluded to?
Second game is called Mixtape Massacre. Now, this one's a bit more expensive. It's $50. It comes from mixtapemassacre.com. It is a company called Brightlight Media. They are a very small independent company. They have this game and some expansions for it right now. They actually are coming out with a version where you play as the teens trying to escape a monster. But no, this one you are the slashers. You are basically non-copyright Scary Terry versions of Freddy, Jason, Chucky. I think the girl from The Ring. You're the monsters murdering people. Let's put it that way. And so the whole game is you and the other people competing to see how many people you can murder. And you fight each other and try to kill each other. So there's like some Freddy versus Jason shit going on. It's a pretty great game. It's called Mixtape Massacre because it takes place in the 80s. There is a soundtrack on Spotify that you're supposed to play along with the game, which is a bunch of 80s songs in a playlist for you, which is a really cool way to get around licensing issues and still have that influence on the game. I think it's got great atmosphere. The artwork's great. I would actually recommend that over the Universal Monsters game. It's just a little harder to get. You got to order it direct, and it's $50 versus $35. So I wanted to give a couple options to our listeners because I think both of these are good. If you get Walking Dead Monopoly, you're getting a face punch. You get one of these, you're getting a big hug and a thank you. I am Professor Casey, and I approve of this message.
All right, well done. Chris, you want to go next, man?
Yes. All right. So I decided to take this opportunity to highlight 3 of my favorite Blu-ray production companies. So first, I'm going to highlight one movie that's on my Christmas wish list, and that is the Blu-ray Criterion edition of Haxan that was released this year.
It's a tremendous movie. I
Now, if
hope
you
our
haven't-
listeners can fucking handle that movie.
Yeah. Now, if you haven't heard of Haxan, Haxan is the gnarliest, weirdest documentary about witchcraft, the history of witchcraft, demonology, and it was made in the fucking 20s. I think 1922.
Silent film
Oh, wow.
documentary
Yes.
on witchcraft.
Yes. But it is like super, super like just moody, and it's like the perfect thing to throw on, I think, during a Halloween party, just to have on in the background, because every now and then you will just look up at the screen and be like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, that was one of the, when I worked at Halloween Town, we had a Haxan shirt for sale. And that was like one of the shirts that got the biggest reaction, like, holy fuck, they have a shirt for Haxan? And that's what got me to watch the movie. I hadn't seen it at that point. I'm like, oh man, yeah, that was great. And I'm glad I saw it. I can only imagine how beautiful the transfer is if Criterion's got their hands on it.
Yeah, and there's actually 2 versions of the movie on this disc. There's the original 1922 version with intertitles that's a little bit longer, and then there's a like recut, like narrated version that's actually only like 76 minutes long. From 1968, and this one has like a bunch of like weird, like insane jazz music like just thrown over it, which is pretty insane.
That sounds awesome.
It's pretty weird and like almost like just unsettling in and of itself. I think I like the original version a little bit more just because I think it sets the tone of what you're watching a little bit better. But yeah, either way, it's definitely worth checking out. I assume I haven't seen it yet. This movie was hard to find. I think there was just a DVD Criterion version of it for a while, but they just re-released it on Blu-ray. So
And that DVD version was out of print and expensive, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, check out Haxan, or as it's also known, Haxan Witchcraft Through the Ages. Sweet.
Yeah, which is the American title that I think is most common. I mean, that's what was on the T-shirt anyway.
Yeah. The Criterion version just has it listed as Haxan.
Awesome. I don't know about you guys, but I love a good coffee table book. And I got a great coffee table book last year. It's called The Art of Horror Movies, edited by Stephen Jones.
Awesome. I mean, that is really cool if we were talking about holiday guide for last year. I had to do it. I'm sure it's still in print, Zach. Continue.
Yeah, this was given to me by my brother. Thank you, Matt. Anyway, so The Art of Horror Movies. It has a foreword by John Landis, who, regardless of how you feel about Landis, he's certainly directed a lot of great films.
He has a great coffee table book in his own right, actually.
Yeah, he does. He does, yeah. But this is The Art of Horror Movies. And The Art of Horror Movies is a book centered on one-sheets and posters for horror movies. It starts from the silent era all the way to present day. There's about like 9 categories it covers. So I'll just read off the categories here. It goes from the sinister silence to the thrilling 30s, the frightening 40s, the fearsome 50s, the stylish 60s, the satanic 70s, the evil 80s, the nasty 90s, and I guess they ran out of alliteration, so the 2000s maniacs.
The turdy 2000s.
And the best thing about the book is it's got Vincent fucking Price on the cover.
It does. Do you have this book, Chris?
No, I just Googled it.
The cool thing about this book is there's really an emphasis on artwork from foreign movie posters for all your favorite, horror films. It's really it's littered with those kind of one sheets. So not only do you really get to see how horror poster artwork kind of evolved from the silent era to now, you also get to see how differently horror films were advertised in other countries. It's really cool. Like there's artwork from Ghana and Nigeria that like these one sheets that were done on like flour sacks, like split canvas flour sacks.
I could do a whole episode on how much I love movie posters from Ghana, Zach.
Yeah, so there's like you'll see like artwork for like on a flour sack from Ghana for like The Evil Dead and like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I heard you have to be careful if you buy those, Zach. Did you hear?
The flour sacks?
You might catch gonorrhea.
I knew that was going to happen.
Boom! There's our promo for this week.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Jesus.
So this book is really tremendous. There's a whole section on like artwork from the El Santo like horror films, so just like a luchador that fought vampires and all sorts of stuff. Really cool to see that.
I've got a giant picture on my wall. You can't see it in this image, and none of the listeners can see it because you are not insiders. But I do have one.
In the Evil 80s section, there's like a tie poster for From Beyond, which is really fun.
Does it have any of the Nightmare on Elm Street foreign posters? Because some of those are amazing.
There's some, yeah, for sure. It's really just an awesome book, and it's actually a companion piece because he released a couple years prior. This came out in 2017. In 2015, he released Stephen Jones' The Art of Horror, which is less focused on horror movies and just the art of the genre, so a lot of like book covers and stuff in there.
Wait, what's yours called? Art of Horror Movies?
Art of Horror Movies, yeah.
Okay, so Art of Horror and Art of Horror Movies. Okay.
Yeah, if you are a horror fan and you own a coffee table, you need to get this book. If there's a horror fan in your life and you're looking for a gift for them and they have a coffee table and it is not on their coffee table, buy them this book.
If you have a horror fan that wants the most obtrusive book possible to read while they're taking a shit.
It is not expensive either. It is like $20 on Amazon.
It's like $21.31 I think right now on Amazon. Really great
Which
price.
is good because it did not used to be like that. It was a very expensive book when it first came out.
The only reason I don't look at it as much as I would is because I don't own a coffee table at this moment.
It's okay.
Or you have to give the book to me.
I'll get us a glass coffee table, Zach. We can break that in. We know how you're a glass bottom boat enthusiast. This is going to be the promo for this week's episode.
Okay, Casey, I assume that means you're ready to present your next gift idea.
Yes, my next gift idea is a glass coffee table because there is something called a glass bottom boat that I would like you all to look up on Urban Dictionary right now.
I think I know what that looks like even without looking it up.
Actually, my second one does have to do with gifts from the home. does not have to do with someone pooping over your face. Well, I mean, unless you really want it. I mean, come on. Like, pretty much anything's about someone pooping on your face if you want it to be.
This is a holiday episode, Casey. This is a holiday episode. There
Dude,
are children
kids-
listening.
We're
The
just
kids were
talking,
listening.
we're just talking about Yule logs here, folks. Creepy Company. Great site that manufactures all kinds of horror memorabilia. They tend to focus on items for the home, cool clothing. They also have a really good set of licenses, such as Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Creepshow. There is the vintage Halloween decoration company, Bastel. They have all kinds of cool stuff. They also have the rights to scary stories to tell in the dark. And they do all kinds of cool stuff, from button-up shirts to pajamas to what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, and that is shit for your bed, sirs. And not literal shit like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, you really just need a tarp for that. I mean, come on, you're going to ruin the bed. Stuff never comes out. But they have some pretty amazing blankets that I wanted to talk to you about, and there's a couple pillows that I wanted to throw in as well. So one of them is the blanket series that I'd like to talk to you guys about is the VHS series of blankets that they're doing. So they have these big blankets that are basically reproductions of VHS covers, but like opened up like a book.
Yeah.
So it's one big rectangle, and they have the original Halloween VHS from Media on there. They have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they just put up Creepshow 2 days ago. And they all have great artwork because it is the original VHS box artwork, or as close as they can get with the stuff that they're allowed to do per their license. And they're actually really nice blankets. While I do not have their VHS blankets, I have one of their blankets from the Bastel series, which is the Bastel cardboard articulated skeleton. And the blanket's made to look like him inside his little bag that you buy him in. Very comfortable blanket, very nice. They are not on the pricey side either. Creepy Company often has sales, but right now, if you were to look at one of these blankets, they would be $35. They would be worth it too, because they're actually pretty big. I'm a tall person. This is a 60 by 50 blanket, so the bigger a blanket can get, the better. 60 is still a little short for me, but it would look good on my bed. So this is something I wanted to recommend to you guys. Also, with the Creepshow ones, they just put up a really awesome Creepshow pillow, which is shaped like a stack of Creepshow comic books. So the front is the cover art from Creepshow and the Bernie Wrightson graphic novel that kind of came out with the movie, written by Stephen King. And so the side looks like a stack of comics. The back looks like the back page of the comics. It's really cool. That retails for $26.99. It's pretty cool. It's fairly large. It's 15 inches tall. So you could actually use it as a pillow if you wanted, or just kind of throw it around for something decorative. Because you know what? There's not a lot of opportunities to have cool housewares that have Bernie fucking Wrightson artwork on them. So that's definitely something I want to recommend, because Bernie Wrightson is one of my favorite comic artists that ever lived. He is definitely my favorite horror artist that ever lived. And having something like this available is great. They've also done pillows for Halloween that look like Michael Myers' face. So if you ever wanted to get nasty with Michael Myers' head, here's your chance. And if you wanted to like pretend like you found it in Halloween H2O and took it home for some fun times or something. I know that wasn't really Michael. It was someone pretending to be Michael, but still. Anyway, it also leads to hilarious photos. Not of that, don't worry. But people have been tucking the Michael pillow into their beds so that it looks like Michael Myers is sleeping in their bed. Pretty hilarious. They've also released a Necronomicon pillow that is the Necronomicon from Evil Dead. Same kind of shape and size as the Creepshow one. So they do pretty cool stuff. They've done a whole line of rugs that's coming out. So these guys do a little bit of everything, but they think outside of the box and they do cool versions of stuff. All of it's exclusive to them for the most part too. So if you want to buy it, you got to go to creepycompany.com.
Sweet. All right, our next holiday suggestion, Mr. Chris.
So next up on my holiday / Amazon wish list is from another one of my favorite Blu-ray release companies, from Arrow. This year they put out one of my favorite horror movies, horror comedies, just in general, just all around amazing movie, An American Werewolf in London.
That's on my list too, actually. Yeah.
Again, brought up John Landis, who directed this. Yeah. So if you haven't seen American Werewolf in London, this is a great opportunity to get this newly released Blu-ray. It's been released on Blu-ray a couple times, but like Arrow's just going to put out the best version possible. There's great original artwork. This has I would buy this just for the front DVD cover alone. This has the best cover I've ever seen for this movie.
Especially some of the covers for this movie are dog shit too. So
yeah,
this is
I own
real
one.
Upgrade. Yeah, me too.
I currently own a steelbook that is just a sign of the London subway tunnel with a werewolf claw in front of it. It's okay, that sucks, but okay. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what new things they're bringing to it, but you can check this out on Amazon. For some reason, this one's listed kind of high right now. It's still available at this moment, but yeah, get on that before they start ranking that thing up there.
Yeah, it's a little weird that it's one of the ones that has gone up since I put it in my wish list instead of down, like usually happens, but
yeah,
it happens.
Yeah. I think this one's just really in demand. I mean, this is a cult favorite movie. People love this fucking movie, and it's great that it's finally getting this this gorgeous release treatment.
Yeah, probably one of my top 5 or 10 favorite horror movies, period. And I really, really want this version as well.
Yeah. Hopefully it will be sitting there under the tree.
For
ready
both
to
of us, yes.
Tear your face apart.
Yeah, it's are you listening, Santa, you motherfucker?
I just want my favorite werewolf comedy about suicide.
Awesome. Well, we are chugging along on our 2019 holiday gift guide for horror fans here. Our first ever gift guide on Another Miserable podcast. Here I am with my second gift idea. I like t-shirts, guys. And I really like horror t-shirts.
I like just walking around without one on,
Yeah, I like just wearing a vest like Razor Ramon.
Especially in, let's say I just like to go just all natural, especially in public around the winter time, because then, if people need their glass cut, I can just be here.
Yeah, man. I was going to say, man, I got to keep it tasteful or people are going to be thinking I'm trying to steal diamonds in a Catwoman style heist. How much these can cut glass.
Casey always nips out when we hang.
I am. It's funny because I'm actually kind of bundled up and cold right now. What kind of shirts do you have for us, Zach? Because I may be guilty of buying too many t-shirts, but I'm always up for more horror shirts.
Yeah, so I have a few different types of t-shirt companies I want to recommend. First is one that is completely centered on horror t-shirts, specifically horror film t-shirts. It's called Fright Rags. They have a lot of licensed merchandise, collections of everything from Big Trouble in Little China to Monster Squad to Ghostbusters. One of their newest collections is one of the cool things about them is they'll even take non-horror properties and kind of make horror t-shirts out of them. So they just released a collection of Home Alone merchandise.
Yeah.
And they made a t-shirt out of the South Bend's Shovel Slayer, who is Kevin McAllister's neighbor, Old Man Marley. It looks like a one sheet for an 80s slasher film, this t-shirt. It's great.
Oh, Jesus awesome. Christ. That is tremendous.
Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome. I'm looking at that right now.
It's really, really cool. That's the great thing about Fright Rags. They'll just, even if it's not a horror property, they can take it and make cool horror merchandise. They have lots of more obscure properties as well. They'll have limited time offers and special t-shirt grabs. Their t-shirts are generally about $28. They also have really cool pins.
They're quality shirts though.
Yeah.
They are good shirts. They have tank tops and then hoodies and things like that as well. Really one of the premier like horror t-shirt companies out there right now for sure.
Okay, Zach, I'm gonna call you a shitbag right now
Okay.
because I think you're forgetting something very important that they sell. Something that you have personally bought me from fucking Fright
Oh
Rags
yes,
before.
they sell socks. Professor Casey is a big sock connoisseur. I don't know why.
Yes, because my junk needs help, man. No, I love socks. I love socks. I'm not stuffing them down the front of my pants. Thank you very much. But yeah, I've got some great socks from them. Zach's actually bought me Killer Clowns from Outer Space socks that look like the
did.
cotton candy with the human head sticking out. Fucking amazing. I've also bought some American Werewolf in London socks from them, the Slaughtered Lamb, which are pretty great. I think I have another pair, but I can't remember if my Tarman socks are from them or if they're from Creepy Company, because I think both companies have done them. But Fright Rags has also made my favorite shirt that I own, my Halloween 3 Season of the Witch baseball shirt, which I wear constantly because I love it so much. And Fright Rags made that, and it's what brought me to their site. And I will always want to buy shirts from them because they use next level tees. So they use the most comfortable, nice, soft shirts as well. They're not doing those shirts that feel like you're exfoliating every fucking time you're wearing them. And that's a big deal because you wear t-shirts, you want a nice little comfortable thing. You don't want to feel like your nips are getting sandpapered off.
I took advantage of their Blair Witch series they did earlier this year. Got one of those.
They have a great series of Stephen King original hardcover covers. So I have a Stephen King's It shirt, which is the original hardcover image of the paper boat going down the sewer, the little clawed hand coming out. I bought a lot of stuff from these guys, and I can't not wear one of their shirts and get a compliment from someone. And everyone thinks their shirts are cool. I can't recommend them enough either. So yeah, Zach, that's a good one, dude.
Sweet. I also have a couple other t-shirt companies I want to point out. For our cryptid inclined listeners, a company that I like a lot that not a lot of people know about is called Maiden Voyage Clothing. They finally launched their website. They had an Etsy page for the longest time, but they finally launched a website. They don't have a large selection of t-shirts. I own about like half of their designs. They really don't have a ton right now. I'm hoping they add more, but the ones that are there are really great. And I also, if you like patches, they have a good collection of patches, all with different cryptids. They like Nessie and Mothman. They have one for the Flatwoods monster. A lot of like really cool, really, if you're into patches, really great place to go for patches.
Yeah, you had me at Flatwoods monster, bro.
I had a feeling.
Say that name again, Zach?
Maiden Voyage Clothing.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you go to shop.maidenvoyageclothing.com, it'll get you to their site. They actually have a sale right now, including pins that look like the 60s Batman logo, but
They have
say
they have a couple
Mothman.
cool pins too.
What?
Yeah, their shirts are about $28, $32. Really, like as high quality as you can get for a t-shirt. It's really great stuff.
And Zach is wearing one of their shirts as we record this.
I am. Come on, the cryptozoology shirt. If you see that, I've had this shirt for a few years now.
Yes, the
t-shirt.
Cryptozoology Tracking Society. It's a great shirt. Ooh, yes, they have stickers.
They do.
I like. Oh yeah, I break with a Bigfoot for cryptids. As someone who's had two different I break for Bigfoot
It's a
stickers
bumper
on my
sticker
car.
Casey's talking about. This is a company, again, really high quality t-shirts here. They have a lot of just kind of funny slogans and sayings, but they actually have a good selection of horror t-shirts. You just kind of have to look for them.
And it's spelled bored like you're bored of something.
Yeah,
so it's
B-O-R-E-D.
B-O-R-E-D.
And one of my favorite t-shirts that I wear is this werewolf t-shirt.
I kind of like this maybe tomorrow Satan instead of not
they have a
today,
lot
Satan.
they have a lot of excellent shirts in there. There's some hidden gems in there. You just have to dig for it. They're not super well known. Really great. I can't recommend enough. So if you're looking for some horror t-shirts, if you got horror fan in your life that is always wearing
or if you're an
t-shirts?
English teacher, wow. Oh, look at that. Oxford, comma, Appreciation Society.
Yeah. So it's a really great place for non-horror shirts as well, but they do have some really great horror t-shirts there. $28 as well, so I guess that's the price for t-shirts online nowadays. So yeah, if you're looking for t-shirts, guys, Fright Rags, Maiden Voyage clothing, Boardwalk t-shirts, really all great.
Also Cavity Colors, you want to go to them too. Got to throw them in there.
Yeah, because it's great.
Fuck, I have another one, Zach. What's the one I'm thinking of? Got the Fat Boys shirt from them. Leave all of this in.
No, this can't be edited.
God damn it, I can't think of it. Cut it out, son of a bitch.
Okay, well, let's move right along. So we've covered coffee table books, t-shirts. We've got beds and pajamas. We've got some really cool Blu-ray releases. Casey, what do you have to?
Tables.
What do you have? What is the last suggestion you have here, sir?
Shit, is it already my turn?
Yes, it is.
I only had two. No, I'm just kidding. No, I have a pretty good one actually, and this is one easy for you to find. And it won't cost you a lot of money. These retail for about $12.99 a piece. You can find them at Walmart and Target. They are action figures by NECA called Toony Terrors. And what they are is they are animated style representations of horror characters. So say that Freddy and Jason did a little guest shot ski on Scooby-Doo, or Leatherface, for example, might do one. Or Michael Myers, for example, might do one. They are animated style to the point where people buy these to hang out with their Scooby-Doo action figures because they really do look like they would be guests on that show. It nails that style perfectly for the most part. There's some figures that I don't think do. It has most of the slasher guys you would expect. So there's Freddy, there's Jason, there's Leatherface, there's Michael Myers. They also have Pinhead, they have Chucky and Tiffany, and there's some upcoming ones coming out like Ash from Evil Dead, The Nun, and there's also a version of each Pennywise. So there's Tim Curry and the newer version. Some of them they're a little hit or miss in my opinion. Like the Tim Curry Pennywise, the face looks too much like Tim Curry to the point where I feel like it defeats the animated style purpose. It's a little too good. But I can't recommend them enough. They look really cool. I started with Freddy and Jason, and I want to tell you that if you have a Freddy or Jason fan in your life, to get these for them right now. The reason for that is they're Series 1. Series 2 is already hitting the shelves. But they're still out there and you can still find them. But as we know about Jason, the licensing is completely fucked with him right now because of the court case. So they were going to do a 2-pack of Freddy versus Jason in their NES colors, and they had to cancel all the pre-orders and kill the 2-pack from existence. So the only way you can get them right now is single-packed, non-Nintendo colors, and when they're gone, at least in Jason's case. Freddy might be all right.
What do they retail for, Casey?
$12.99. So they're
where did you pick yours up?
I got mine at Target, but Walmart started carrying them as well in the weird little section that Walmart's starting to put in their movie sections that kind of have like geek culture stuff. Not every Walmart has that section, but those that do have these figures. And they're about the same price there as well. But yeah, Series 2 has been hitting shelves already. Series 1 only came out around Halloween time. I can't do one of these episodes and not suggest some kind of toy or action figure. And for me to narrow it down to these means that they have to resonate with me quite a bit because there's a lot of good shit out there. So I can't recommend it enough. Again, they're called Toony Terrors. They're from NECA. At Target, they're in that kind of geek section where they keep the pop figures. So they're pretty easy to find. And I got to say, their Leatherface may be my favorite Leatherface figure ever made. I just think it's the perfect representation of him, even though it's in the cartoony style.
No, I've seen your collection of these. They look tremendous. They kind of remind me of, like, I guess it's kind of Scooby-Doo and sort of almost like Animaniacs or something kind of style wise. They look great.
Yeah, I'd say the first series could almost pass for like a Bruce Timm version of something, but it's gotten so far away with that in the later series, I don't think they would fit in anymore. Yeah, Freddy's definitely a very unique version of the character that you won't see anywhere else. And Jason manages to be iconic without specifically being a version from any of the movies. Like technically he's part 3 Jason, but he can kind of fit in a lot of places. So they're going for iconic looks of the characters, not necessarily screen accurate, and they're just a lot of fun. They look great. I mean, they're not like super articulated or anything, but you got enough to get the job done and have a couple different poses from each one. And yeah, I really like them. I like everything NECA does, but these really stand out because they're so different from everything else that's on the market right now.
Sweet. Chris, you are next,
Yo.
my friend. Your last gift idea.
All right, guys, to send this out, probably the most important thing to drop on any of us this past year. I'm just going to blurt it out. Guys, Scream Factory put out Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, how did I miss this?
Scream Factory put out Big Trouble in Little China.
I don't know how I missed this. I feel
I don't know how you missed this either.
I don't know how you missed it.
I don't know what to do with myself right now.
In case you're supposed to shout out this stuff at me when it happens.
I kind of stay away from the Blu-ray stuff because I don't know about you guys, but I have this track record that as soon as I buy something, it goes up on Amazon Prime or Shudder, which is evidence because remember when we talked about Shocker in our previous episode?
Oh, yeah.
That is now on Shudder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bought it just to do that episode, you know.
I was telling Casey I bought Home Alone 1 and 2 on Blu-ray and Amazon, and like the next day it was discounted.
Yep, that's how it goes.
I'd say
you just get the stuff and you don't look back. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the eight movies I bought at Monsterpalooza, 5 of them have been put up on Amazon Prime since then, and it was in October. Yeah, good times.
well, this is
sorry,
the first like pristine version of Big Trouble in Little China that's been put out on Blu-ray.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
the Blu-ray version that was originally out didn't look all that great.
No. It was didn't look great, but this one's great. Great original artwork. Shout Factory always does really great original artwork for their covers, and you can get 2 versions of this: the slip sleeve cover. Sorry, I can't talk. And which is actually the version I kind of prefer. And then also you can get the Steelbook, which has like I don't know how I feel about the cover. It's really hilarious, but it looks like lightning is shooting out of Jack Burton's ass, which is pretty great.
Hold on, I need to see.
Books where they can be stretched out. The entire image can be stretched out from the front to the back.
It's like he's fucking twerking. Jesus Christ.
Wow, that's coming out of his ass, all right. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like this vinyl that they have with it with the Pork Chop Express on the front.
Oh yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, like it almost looks like it could not be intentional, but it definitely is intentional. Just the way he's crouched.
Big Trouble in Little China, man. Such a good movie.
It's so great.
All right, guys. We've made it to the final suggestion here.
Yeah, it better be good, motherfucker.
Don't worry. I am ending out our 29 holiday gift guide for horror fans in style because I am suggesting the gift that keeps on giving, and that is a subscription to Shudder.
No, I thought it was going to be making fun of Zach because you just called it the 29 episode. I didn't know.
No, 2019.
You said 29. And I didn't know that we were operating a speakeasy here with our gift ideas.
We'll see you all again in the year 2029.
Yeah. Yes.
We'll let you know how the Roaring 20s went.
Very, very shitty if The Great Gatsby is any indication.
But
Okay,
Leonardo
Zach,
DiCaprio became president, and that's all that matters.
get us that Shudder fucking sponsorship, Zach.
All right, guys. So if you've listened to any of our episodes
podcast
before,
is not sponsored by Shudder in any way.
But we are sponsored by Blue Chew. Do you want a hard dick while you watch your horror movies, gentlemen? Well, That can happen one of two ways.
That wasn't
And
subtle
one
at
of
all, Casey.
Hey, look, okay, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I'd say 90% are sponsored by Blue Chew for some reason, boner pills. And a lot of them are from the voices of my childhood, the wrestling announcers I watched growing up, talking about having boners, getting pills to give boners to other people. I heard Arn Anderson talking about getting a boner. I don't need to hear Arn Anderson talking about his dick in any way, shape, or form. Thank you very much. That's my Blue Chew rant. Please sponsor us.
Speaking of boners, Zach, Shudder.
Yeah, you're just securing that Shudder sponsorship by talking about Blue Chew and boner.
Hell yeah. You know what else will give you a boner? Society, available on Shudder.
Yeah. So if you've listened to any of our episodes in our backlog, we talk about Shudder a lot. Our segment Don't Cross the Stream, where we recommend streaming titles, is pretty much created because of Shudder. So Shudder is a horror streaming service. They have tons of cult classic films on there, but what they've really become known for is their exclusive kind of selection of films created for their platform, or they also house a lot of independent films that are debut on Shudder. It's really kind of changed the horror industry. I subscribe.
Or Joe Bob motherfucking Briggs.
Yeah,
pal.
The renaissance of the return of Joe Bob Briggs on Shudder. So they just have so much amazing content on there. I subscribed to them, I think, a year and a half ago. I think I started their free trial, and then it lapsed, and then I just went with it. And I have not looked back. Before we started the podcast, it's such a great service. Some of my favorite horror movies of the year were on Shudder. One Cut of the Dead. If you've not seen that movie, subscribe to Shudder. It's tremendous. Subscriptions start as little as $4.75 a month, so you really have no reason not to join. I think it ends up going a little more than that, like $8-9 a month.
Yeah, if you also want, like, if your device won't support Shudder well, like some of mine won't, you can actually add it on as a channel on Amazon Prime as well. The selection's a little different between the two. That's not to say that one has less movies than the other. It's just that sometimes they have different movies than the other one. So your mileage may vary with which one you want. I do it Amazon style. What sucks is I have to wait a day to see the Joe Bob Briggs stuff when Zach can watch it live. Yeah, for example.
Yeah, I believe they have like a streaming section on their website as well.
He's not bitter about it at all.
No, I really can't recommend Shudder enough, guys. They have so many different categories of horror movies. You'll find a lot of rare foreign films as well, which is really cool. They're not going to see on Netflix like ever.
And you'll find Shocker for those of you that listened to our last year in horror episode.
And one of the other cool elements of Shudder is they have a lot of documentaries that we've talked about. We talked about Spookers. They have the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. They have the Friday the 13th documentary.
Crystal Lake Memories. Are we sure those are up there right now?
I believe so.
Because they keep getting pulled. So
yeah, so like every streaming service, titles will shuffle in and out, but generally things stay on Shudder for a good length of time. And I think it's such a great platform. I'm really like for like independent filmmakers that they have this new platform where they can debut their films in front of fans. They're gonna, they're like they cater to this stuff, cater to horror, and it's really, I think, similar to how films are debuting on like The Irishman, which is just on Netflix, which is a Scorsese picture. That's crazy that like premiered on like Netflix. I mean, I think it's in theaters too, I believe, but like that's crazy that you can watch a Scorsese film, a brand new Scorsese film. It's like 3.5 hours long on a streaming platform. And Shudder is that for horror movies, and I really can't recommend it enough. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if years from now we get like Nightmare on Elm Street debuting on like Shudder or something, or concurrently with like a theatrical release. It's that great of a platform, so I highly recommend that.
They do fun stuff around the Halloween season, such as the I forget what they call it. It's their Halloween version of the Yule log, which is it's the Ghoul log.
I believe so. Yeah, Ghoul log.
Yeah, it's pretty great, and they always they're the home of the new Creepshow series, which is, I wouldn't call it hit or miss. I'd say it's probably about 80-20.
Oh, the Creepshow series is pretty great. Really most fantastic. Of the time. I've not seen the last episode yet, but everything I've seen of it, I've enjoyed. Definitely recommend that. It keeps the spirit of the original, like the source material for sure.
Yeah, no Bernie Wrightson art though. Kind of hurts my heart a little bit, but it is what it is.
All right, guys. Well, that is our 2019 holiday gift guide for horror fans. I hope you enjoyed it. You have about 2 weeks, so buy all that stuff right now.
And you have to buy every single thing we mentioned on the
Every
podcast.
single thing.
Especially the fecophilia parts.
especially Blue Chew. That's really what we kind of wanted you to get all out of it.
Oh, don't worry. You get that glass coffee table. It'll take care of itself.
Glass coffee table. Oh. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season so far. We're going to be back with one more episode before Christmas hits. I think you're going to enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Because Christmas is a very haunted time of year. There's lots of ghosts out and about. So
we're going to talk about the Patrick Swayze classic, Ghost.
we're going to get all humbug up in here next time on an Internet podcast.
Oh, I can get humbug enough for all of us. Play me some fucking Christmas music.
Chris, I feel like we missed our opportunity to serenade Casey with Christmas music this entire episode. So
I'll fucking leave. I'll just hang up.
That's okay. I'll put in some festive music here and there. All right, guys. See you next time. Shop safe. Don't get trampled by anybody. And,
yeah, Merry Christmas. I like Christmas. I just hate Christmas music. Don't get me wrong.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a week or two. All right.
Happy holidays, my friends.
Happy holidays.